I'm not here. I don't know where I'm at. I'm in the wrong one. Got it. I got it.
Okay, yeah, I got it. I'll be forgetting about these. That's vital. That's vital. It is V949 WATV on a Vital Sunday. Welcome in. Welcome into the show. I am your host, Lady Wu. The Vixens are in the building. Ladies, introduce yourselves, please.
What's up, Birmingham? Blacks in the building.
What's good? It's your girl, Rosa, since y'all refuse to call me Lovely Bones.
I mean, we do.
Sometimes.
Like it sound like 60 type men. But it's Santa.
Santa. And we have special guests in the studio who will introduce himself as we get around to him. So there are things that are happening in the world. There are some news stories that are happening. I want to jump us off with Lovely Bones. First news story is up.
We want to talk about Nasine. It's the young lady, I think she's from Kentucky, who was bullied through social media. And what happened was the video got out that she was bullied with. So it started circulating, and it's two young Caucasian women.
Mhm.
That are minors as well from this high school, and the young lady had suffered with problems from attempting to take her own life.
Okay.
So they were like digging in on it, telling her no one wants around. I'm sorry, I almost said no one wants the
Mhm.
N word around. No one cares. It's because you're so black. Next time, cut down deeper, right? So
Wow.
this happened months ago.
Mhm.
Sean King got wind of the story, and it took off from there. She's raised over $100,000. They shut the school down twice due to protest.
Mm.
And I mean, they are making big noise in this
That's what's up.
city for her just over. Listen, you're not going to bully her like this. No one knew it was happening. She was suffering in silence. And when it came out, and in true Karen fashion, the young ladies have been shipped off and moved to another undisclosed state
Mm.
because they don't want them to feel like they can't grow as children.
Hmm. Okay. So
Wait, so you're saying like they moved the other students that were actually
the,
bullying her,
the Caucasians.
the Caucasians.
hmm
they
hmm
moved them to another school, left her at the school. And
hmm
who
So,
started the GoFundMe?
She started
Okay, she
it
started
for
herself.
herself,
Okay.
which was
Okay.
amazing. Yeah, she even led the protest. She's very articulate. So it was nice to hear. It was not one of those like live videos from the young lady that's married to the 64 man that's really yelling out for
Mm.
help. It wasn't that. She was very articulate. She had something to say. She knew that she had been being bullied, and
so you could
she
receive it
you
well
could
and
receive it.
understand what she was
Yes.
going
I
through.
was very proud of her. for her stance. I was upset that she suffered in silence and went
Right.
through that. But once she found her voice, she's like, let me tell you what I'm asking for. She could be a vixen. Hello,
That's what's
come
up.
talk to
Right.
And
us.
how old is she?
She's in middle school. She's like
Like 13.
14. And but she had already attempted to take her own life. So she did already like cut her wrist. And so the young ladies
Cut
had
it
found.
deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Like a
And they
so
moved them to another stage so they
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't get bullied.
Of course.
I just don't like how they treat them like they're the victim in all of
Right.
these. Like,
Because they have to be allowed to grow. I was like, what? Okay, Karen.
yeah. Thoughts and
Okay.
feelings on this. Please comment them if you're listening or watching. Share your thoughts and feelings about this particular news story. I have an audio clip from something that is happening right now, something that was said. Let me get it up for you guys.
So many pastors say that their pastors Al Sharpton, right?
Lord.
No more black pastors in the room when it comes to the Ahmaud Arbery trial. Like you had Jesse Jackson, you had whoever else you had in here. Like, why is that necessary for them to come sit up in here with the families and persuade this jury that, you know, whatever you're trying to persuade them of? He said that.
He said that. Now, what we need to do, though, we have to commend the judge because after the judge allowed him to put his foot so far down in his throat like that, right? The judge came back and made a statement that I said, oh, okay, he had snuck into the BLM at the back. Yeah, to the back. Because he said, while he understood his concern, nothing about his courtroom had turned into a circus. Nothing about his courtroom. No one in the courtroom actually even noticed Reverend Jesse Jackson until the man brought it up. So he was like, thank you for letting us know, but nothing about this trial was impacted due to them.
Support.
Yes, and that's exactly how the judge described it. So he said, "No, I'm not going to close my courtroom, and no, I'm not going to make an order to say no black ministers."
What's the
nerve.
problem with us having support?
The
This is
nerve.
my question. Like, why is it such a big deal for us to come together and support one another? They do it with each other all the time.
All the
So
time.
what's wrong with us doing it?
Um,
Is it a threat?
Of course.
it's definitely a threat.
it looks away. Like you got these black preachers that make up all this noise anyway. You just had Al Sharpton. That wasn't enough.
I mean,
Why you need another one?
I
Who
want
next?
all of them in
Like who
mine.
next? Louis Farrakhan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want all of them.
Baby.
They don't want him.
Baby, get
They don't
Minister.
want him.
Baby, don't get Minister Farrakhan.
You know, I'm just trying to
out
see,
there, Lord.
so you come in and they are in here, they're in the courtroom. And honestly, I went into a courtroom once before to support somebody, and the judge actually decided that she wouldn't keep the case. All I did was look in the door. I was
And
like,
saw you was like, no, I don't want to.
yeah, she's like, was that Lady Wu? And I'm like, hey, yeah. And she said, I recused myself.
Oh,
Really?
Bye.
what I did to you?
Yeah.
She
So,
knows.
like the legal proceedings and being in courtrooms, different things. It's so many rules and so many things that people feel can sway the opinion of the jurors. But you got an all white jury and one black juror. So, like, how they going to be swayed because these black preachers in here?
Right.
How is that going to happen?
Don't be in here praying for them. Like, what?
Yeah.
Child.
Really, really different. Anything else that you all have seen in the news or that you experienced this week that we need to bring to these airwaves of Vital?
You really want me to talk? So this week,
What? Talk in the mic and tell them what it is.
Oh, so this week I've been having several repairs having to be done on my vehicle,
Okay.
and I reached out to a few people trying to get, see
Mhm.
if they know some good auto mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
I was put in touch with one, and let me just say this: if you work for yourself, please remember that you work for yourself, and you have to also be mindful of who you come in contact with and how you handle your business.
True.
I found a guy, mobile mechanic, came to my job. I spoke to him at 6:30 that morning. He said, I'll be over there in a couple hours. It got to be 8:30, 9:30. Still know him.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up showing up about 1 o'clock
In the PM.
in the PM.
Okay.
So that's 5 hours after I spoke with this guy about coming to do the work on my vehicle. Then he shows up. And like just his whole demeanor was wrong. His attitude was wrong. Like it was just I wouldn't refer him to anyone. I would not.
Uh,
Um and then like I felt like I was rushed into the decision of just going ahead and getting the work done on my car because of the time that he showed up. Like you knew good and well, you told me that you would be here at 6:30 this morning. You show up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, bro, are you crazy? Like
Right.
it just did not make any sense. So I would like for my fellow black people, when you are conducting business, please be mindful of how you treat people. You may not know, or people might not reveal to you who they are
mhm.
or who they have connections with. But always have good business ethic. Always have good customer service. Watch how you handle people.
Right? Like, is it necessary for me to say, well, hey, my name is Suzanne, whoever, and I'm from WXYZ, and I'm
Right.
here.
I shouldn't
Is
have to
that
do that.
necessary?
Like, and
Mhm.
so like I will say, after the work was done,
Oh, so you let him do the work?
I let him do the work because
Oh,
I was in a crunch and I
okay,
needed the work done on my car.
okay.
I just felt a way about it. I felt uneasy about the work because of the attitude that he held. And normally when people do work on your car, they show you the old part and
Mm-hmm.
they show the new part they put on. I asked him, "Well, where's the old part?" "I don't have it." I was like,
So where
"Well,"
you
I'm
put
like, "Well,
it?
where is it?" And like
That's
he kind of
mine.
ignored my question. So I've been
Oh
feeling
wow.
really uneasy about it all week. And his name is Crazy Kid something.
Mm.
Crazy Kid Williams on Facebook or something of the sort.
Hmm.
I wouldn't recommend him to anyone.
So I saw another post about something like that with a lady in her hair, and it was calling out another black business owner. And we do have a topic coming up about this in particular, about business strategies and different things like that. But people that do business and do things that you don't ask them to do. So it's a long post, and the person was saying like, "Hey, this person did my hair, and they cut some of my locks, like they split them, and then put some lock extensions on my hair without my permission." And there's a post going around. The person was tagged in it, but I guess I looked at it from this angle. When things do happen to us and we have these bad experiences with business, what position should you take? Should you go straight to social media and blast the person? Should you call the Better Business Bureau?
I mean, in a lot
Like,
of
what do you
cases,
do?
you can't really call the Better Business Bureau because they're most times they are not registered
Mm.
to be able to be reported. So yeah, I would say go to social media and spread the word about the bad business that you have been given.
Do you tell the vendor or the person? Do you tell the
I
business
did.
owner? Okay.
Yes, you do.
And he kept texting me. And I was like, "Sir, I ended the conversation an hour ago and you continue to keep texting me. But what are you trying to say?" "I said what I said when I was on the phone with you. Do not text me again." Like, are you crazy?
Yeah,
Don't keep
I
texting
am.
me, Chad. I'm gonna tell you, don't do that no
And I think that's the thing. Like when people go to social media and
Mhm.
complain about the service or the attitude, a lot of times they're not nasty about it. They're just trying to let people know. And then a lot of business owners come on there and cause more drama
more.
by getting an
Yes.
attitude, not holding themselves accountable, coming up with excuses, just being nasty. And
Ugly.
even people that agree with the person or saying, okay,
Mhm.
this happened to me too, like get an attitude or trying to call people out. Like, don't
Hmm.
do that.
Right.
So yeah, we can have different experiences with the same business owners. Like, well, I never had that problem with this person. They were always nice to me. They give me a receipt. They don't. I mean, it's always fine for me. But if one of my partners has an issue with this person, what am I to do? What happens then?
Well, I've had it to where I've heard something similar happening.
Hmm.
And the homeboy actually fronted the guy and was like, "Hey, I referred you to them and you
Okay.
kind of make me look bad and because you gave them bad service. Like, what's the problem? Why'd you handle them like that?"
I was in a bad mood that day.
Yeah. See,
Like
What's up, Bones?
yeah, I see that's so that man, that's a lot of ownership for a
Hmm.
referral, right?
Hmm.
Now our relationship is on the line because you got bad business from where I had a great experience. That's not on me, right? I think you started it out accurately by saying, hey, take more accountability in your
Right.
business. I don't think it's just a black thing. I think what we're seeing is more black entrepreneurs, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I don't think it's a
The
black
BGP.
thing. I don't think it's just a black thing, or just I think we existed before the PPP. A lot of us did. I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna say that I think that we do have to start structuring our business as a business. That includes a customer care policy, a policy for the things that ail your business,
Mhm.
right? And I think it requires a level of consistency from the way I treat each of my customers to the service that I bring.
Right.
And I don't think it's race related. I think it's either good business or bad business because I don't care who owns it. Tom Ford, Tommy Lynn, whoever these people are that I never met could own it. I'm gonna blast you the same way.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
Fortunately, though, I don't feel I've had some terrible experiences with some local businesses, and
Mhm.
I love shopping black. But I would
Yeah.
never blast you. What can happen though, I can be in a conversation with someone, and they're telling me, "Hey, I had a poor experience," and I may share I did too. But I won't blast you because for me, it's not. I don't think you learn from me taking business from you because how can you learn?
Right.
You know, you'll never get the opportunity, the challenge to grow. If you're not challenged, then okay, you think what you did was right, and it either it worked or it didn't. I think we have to give our culture a chance to grow because this is the biggest influx we've ever seen of black entrepreneurs. You have to realize it's like giving a child a toy that never owned a toy before.
Yeah.
I'm some people are coddling their business and you're like, baby, set this out so I can get it. I don't need you to help me with it. And
Mhm.
some people are treating their business like, "Phew, Lord, I got me one," and throwing it up in the air and hoping I can catch it, you know.
Yeah,
So
and we need you to be strategic with
that's
your business.
correct. So we need to start really doing trade shows for that type of thing, I think, because it's not a problem that we see so many businesses. I love it. Let me help you get yourself a building, commercial or residential.
Right.
Just put the plug out there. I'm your realtor. Hey, how you doing? Um, but I just want y'all to know I don't think that's the problem. I don't think it's race related. I do think it is again an educational learning curve that our culture has because it's never been taught to us. We've never been educated on it. And now it's like boom in our face, fast paced. How do we get there? And some people are getting there, some people are not.
Okay, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, you're in with Vital. What's your question or
Hey,
comment?
hey, Woo, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, everybody?
Hey.
Hi.
Good, good, good. Hey, the comment I have is that a lot of, I'm not going to say a lot, but some black people are already with black people. So even if you have an event where things go wrong, especially if you go on Facebook and you put it out there like that, they got to make sure that they resolve the problem, put it on Facebook, resolve the problem, and have that person put it on Facebook and resolve the problem. 'Cause it's like when I do work, this lady that I did some work for, she never came downstairs to look, but I sent her pictures every night of the progress.
Okay.
Although she never came down, and her husband came down and looked at it, but she initiated me to come there. So she never came down and looked at it. Her daughter said it looked good, but she never came down. But I sent her
Mhm.
pictures. I made sure everything was good by the time I got finished. And so, of course, when she sent that last little bit of money, that was a confirmation. But you have to, especially if people are doing the Google thing and the review, Google review and Facebook, you have to solve those problems in order for you not to have those people spread the news like that.
Right. Thank you so much for that call. Thank you for listening. As a business owner, being accountable and taking responsibility, like that's important. If I'm, you know, if I'm looking, if I'm looking to make money or make an impact in the community and do anything, I should be able to be held accountable as a business owner. And I should have enough sense to know that, okay, that interaction wasn't right. So, Will, thank you for your call. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Um, any other thoughts about that? Like just the idea of business, being able to say what you feel and like where you spend your money and how you're
Mhm.
treated and just is that a thing culturally now that we've gotten to where we accept
I don't think we
that?
should just accept any type of just trash business. I think that we have the right to be able to say, well, this was bad business, this was good business. Like my GPS is on, my location is on every time I go anywhere. So of course Google asked me, hey, how was your service at
Hmm.
Walmart Adamsville? It
Hmm.
was trash. I'll say, well, whatever or wherever I am, I will say what my experience was
Okay.
on any business. I don't care if it's JC Penney, if it's Belk, if I don't care. it doesn't mean it's not just black business, it's all businesses, because
That's
I
right.
feel like everyone has the right to know what you're getting yourselves into when you conduct business with different places.
Hmm.
So I'm not biased about it at all. I don't
Very
care.
good.
Okay, so if you have a thought or an opinion about your experiences this week or just in general about business, give us a call. Like, what has been your experience with businesses, customer service? We know customer service is horrible. Like, I find myself when I get to a window somewhere, good morning. Like, if I spoke to
Right.
you one time and you still don't speak back, I said good morning. How are you?
Okay,
And it's like
first.
that really bothers people when they don't have those values and those morals about when you see people greet them. My food shouldn't be hanging out the window. Yeah, I want it to be speedy, but it shouldn't be hanging out of the window before I approach the window.
Right.
You shouldn't come on the box and say, we don't have we only serving thighs and legs. And that's the first thing you say. No, you say, good evening, welcome to Woo Place. We only have thighs and legs right now. Would you still like to order?
Thank you.
Right.
You don't tell me that after I done paid for my food and pull up to the window. We ain't got no breast.
What?
I ordered a breast. I paid for a breast. Where's my breast?
Yeah.
That-
We got
It's
another
really-
caller.
Go ahead. What you want? Go ahead.
Caller, you're in with Vital. What's your comment or your question?
How you doing, Woo?
What up, B?
What's happening, man? Y'all all right, man?
We are great.
Hey.
I was just listening to the show. I won't tell my trauma story.
Go
So
ahead.
most of y'all aware. I'll say this without saying anything, just because of legal reasons. We're sitting here talking about black businesses, and I'm hearing about people talking about their experiences and things of that nature. You know, again, like I said, most people know, or heard about my store, have heard about a particular business in Birmingham that, for whatever reason, does horrible business but continues to flourish.
Is
Mhm.
this the
Now,
furniture?
the one
plug?
thing that I've learned about businesses is this: businesses survive based off of the support of the people around them and what people say. People can go through bad experiences, they can see it, and they can see that this business is trash. But when certain people say, "Well, they didn't do that to me," just like you said, Woo,
Mhm.
that allows
Mhm.
certain activities to continue going on. What we have to do is, we have to take accountability of when our friends are running a business and they're trash, they just trash. And we can avoid setting people up from horrible experiences by being honest. Like, you can
I like
support
that.
somebody, but not by saying that, hey man, yeah, such and such, makes baskets or whatever the case may be, but man, that's not high quality baskets. I wouldn't send you over there. It's just the honest truth, man. And I think that's the one thing that we have to get away from is, what I'm saying, not holding people accountable. The one thing that I just wanted to kind of throw in as I was just kind of listening as you guys talk was, one of the other biggest issues is just knowing. I'm trying to, y'all see, I'm trying to watch my wording. Um, knowing, what's the best way I want to put this? Knowing when to, well, no, I'll say it like this. The term black business, unfortunately, has become a derogatory term. If you think about it, when it comes to taxes, business, or certain things, what's the one that people say? I'm gonna let the white folks go do that, or I'm gonna go let this person go do that. Until we can start making our businesses not just be about, well, it's a black business or this, that, and the third, and you're just running your business as a successful business, that's when you are doing things the right way. Like I said, it was something else I wanted to say, but I wanted to just kind of not say too much the wrong way. But I think if people focus on running their business in a business structure that is conducive, just like the white folks, unfortunately, I hate to say it that way, I think our businesses, as black businesses, would survive better. When you go to their business, you expect a certain service, you're getting a certain treatment, you get certain things from it. You know what I'm saying? And like, I hate saying it this way because I almost feel like I'm talking down on our people, but I'm really not, when we know what type of service we get from other people. And I expect that from us as well when I come get any services from us.
All right. Thank you so much for that comment. Thanks for calling in. Pretty valid points. Like, we've all experienced business that is questionable or awful, as you all keep saying, trash.
Garbage.
And even in the area of like a lot of our friends and relatives and church members and neighbors being entrepreneurs, we want to support their businesses. We want to help them out. But when you see something, as with anything else, you should say something like, hey, that's way too much for that. That ain't even worth that much. Or
Right.
that this person that shopped with you multiple times and you have yet to even honor the fact that they brought 100 people. Like, we should say those things when we see it. Or your business hours are just what time? Like, when do you open?
What you mean? 2 to 7. Like, what?
When can anybody ever patronize you? You're never open. So yeah, say those things. Rosa, final thoughts on that.
I think we give the feedback. I think we don't own it, because I think the ownership comes from the business owner, right? I think as a friend, I could tell you, if you could ask me, oh, why you don't send nobody over here? Girl, it wasn't pleasing to me. Or if you ask me, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to offer it to you because I want you to operate comfortably in your space. Some people don't know the difference between constructive criticism and belittlement, right? So if you went so far in life to now you've started a business and you really don't know how to conduct it or handle yourself in front of customers, I'm almost certain I shouldn't be the one teaching you the difference between these two types of feedback. So I don't know that you want to risk your relationship for it. I still challenge the business owner. Let's go to classes. Let's get educated. Let's get educated on business strategies. Let me challenge your dollar. Hire someone if you can. They said if you are doing everything in your business, you're doing it wrong. So if you don't have anyone that assists you, if you don't know how to delegate, you're doing your business wrong. So I challenge the business owners, challenge yourself, do inventory on yourself, because you hear your service.
Right.
You're not unaware. You are aware. So I don't think I wouldn't put my relationship on the line. Now, if say it's you, woo, you're like, yo, I had this client, and I'm like, girl, you ain't say that, did you? You ain't help them like that, did you? That's a different thing. But no, I'm not going to tell you that microphone isn't worth $2,000 if you say it's worth $2,000, because you might find you a client base that will pay you $2,000
Right.
for it. So I also don't have to refer anyone to you if, like you said, I'm not satisfied with the quality of business, like the young man said, that you're providing, because that's not fair to our relationship. Own your business. You're an entrepreneur. That's my final thought. Own your business holistically.
That's good. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. It's a radio break for those of you who are watching. Keep it locked. You're listening to Vital right here on V94.9 WATV.
Awesome. Oh yeah. It's my broker. We gotta.
So this baby was just looking at you the whole time. You was talking.
Hey, she, man, I know it. You gonna sit with me here? I know it, man. I know it. He be so tickled when I talk to him. Hello.
All right, so we come back. We're gonna go straight into gun violence.
I'm telling you. Listen. I told you it's a family affair, right? I did not take a picture of it, but I can go out tomorrow because it's on my side of town, and I had told Mr. Coker that he could go look at it because he was wondering like where I was talking about for where we would put the
Is that
picture.
it?
But I'll gladly, like I told him, I'll gladly show him that I can go out and take the picture so that we can see, and I can show you
It's 4 months. Actually, 2 days ago. 4 months. Man, baby. Why are you looking at Sid like that? He's so serious. He'll laugh every now and then, but when that laugh is over, he back to straight face. Like,
really. She got the refrigerator. Of course it won't, but it will. It will touch her hard. Yes. Come on, girl. Yeah.
you being such a good baby. I'm so proud of you. You being such a good baby. See, it was just a hot second and it's gone.
Oh,
I'm being good because Dana threatened me.
don't answer that. Let us close. They got to have insurance for that type of thing. We done our part, but I'll go by tomorrow and take a picture of the area so that we'll have it for our records. Told you, very motivated. I think it's costing them more to keep it than it is to, even if they lose on this year. I think it's costing them too much to keep it because I told you all three of them were really unique.
We just
Like, she just each
yeah,
was like,
for
"Where
real,
you
because it's
going? You
news,
want to
so
meet?
we're the media,
Walk
like
with
the
me?" No, I
media
don't.
partner.
I just scheduled the time. He just told you what time it'll be there. When we got there,
But like past that, that's what it means. Though. Y'all ready?
okay, I gotta go. I'm on the radio right now. Tune in. Oh, you're in Florida, but open the app. All right, bye. Ciao.
It's V94.9 WATV, where the V stands for Vital on Sunday nights, and we are back. A lot of things happening in our news locally, and most of that, well, I can't say most of it is just bad news, but there has been a lot of news that has really been disturbing. Yeah, I say that. That's a good word, but gun violence has continued to do what it does, and we know how that plagues Birmingham. Like, just
Yes.
honestly, it's not. We were talking about it in our group, and I just was like, well, it's something that I'm not. You know, it's a part of it's a part of what happens. It's a part of the fabric of the city. And even though that's not what you want, that's what it is. So I'm that real about it. And you never know who it's gonna be, where it's gonna be, how many people it's gonna be, what the circumstances are. But we've heard some really ridiculous stories here lately. 9-year-old shot,
Yeah.
sitting in the car, 2 men killed and two others, just all types of news stories about gun violence. So I know that there are a lot of people who are actively looking for a solution and remedy to those issues. And we reached out because those people are vital. And two of them are in studio tonight, Mr. Eric Hall and Miss Files, repping Pratt City. Been knowing you all my life and seeing you serving for a long time. So both of you are welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You got to get in the mic.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Glad to be on the air with Lady Wu tonight.
For sure. So, Eric, we've been hearing and seeing you forever as well, as long as I know that you've been able to speak and lead and be out front for what's going on in the community. You've done that. And here you are again with basically the same message once again. Tell me a little bit about what's going on right now.
So a little bit about what's going on right now. We're organizing what we call the Angel Toy Drive, which I've been actually planning that for 10 years now. This is the 10th year
Mm-hmm.
that we've provided gifts to families who are hurting or are experiencing some type of crisis.
Uh-huh.
In the past years, it's been underemployment or unemployed. It's been children who were affected by the tornado. And in 2017, it was gun violence. And so each year we seek divine intervention to figure out like who should we support and help. And so this year, like it was to see the number of children that were directly impacted by gun violence. We had no other choice but to say like, look, it's up to us. It takes a village to heal community, to bring
Absolutely.
community together. And so I wanted to be in a position to give back to those kids, those children who have lost a parent um, due to gun violence. You know, this is the first time that a child will experience their first Christmas without a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And for some kids, we do have kids that will experience their first Christmas without both parents because we have had crimes in the city that both parents were actually killed at the same time. So that's a very traumatic experience for
Yeah.
children. In addition to that, we all know what's going on with in our streets as it relates to deaths linked by overdose and opiate use and fentanyl and all those kind of things. And so, because that's so alarming to us, you know, we feel like the village got to come together and we got to look out for our kids and we got to make it happen.
Right. I'm happy about that effort and about the thought put into each issue being addressed directly. I really appreciate you for leading that. Ms. Fowles, you've been serving in the Pratt City area how long?
15 years.
15
Close
years
to 15 years. at
in
this
in
time.
that leadership role.
Right, in the leadership role.
Okay. So what is your role in this particular effort? Well, before we do that, what are your thoughts about what's happening?
Oh, it is so much happening now. It's just almost unreal uh, how this generation has really got to thinking everything has to be solved by gunfire.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even think about how it used to be, but how just gunfire, and they don't care where the bullets land. Um, and our neighborhoods is so infested too,
Oh, for sure.
and
Mm-hmm.
we try our best to try and take care of our neighborhoods. And the reason why I came up with this thing about the Christmas festival.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to involve our whole community. That included our 6 neighborhoods. So I did contact all of the presidents and the whole,
Yes,
elected
ma'am.
officials. And I also invited our elected officials into this to plan this big Christmas festival.
Mm.
And we wanted to really be a big event, and we really wanted to be about the children. We plan to have a children choir. We also, we was having red ribbon every year,
Mm-hmm.
and we weren't able to do that because of the pandemic.
Right.
So we're gonna incorporate the red ribbon into our Christmas festival.
Oh, good.
So we do have the children at Southampton and Bush Hills Academy and JO. They're doing essays and posters,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
about I can do anything better than drugs. So they got to
Mm.
do the posters on that. And I'm going to probably have a children's choir. We really wanted to be a big thing, bringing the communities together to try to see what we can do about this violence that go on in our neighborhoods.
Right. Any effort,
Hmm.
any positive effort is a move in the right direction, and I'm just happy that you all are keeping that fire under, a cause
Right,
that's affecting everybody. Everybody has a
right,
different fight, but I'm
right.
really grateful for you all doing this one. Um, Eric, I know you have tried to position yourself in many different lanes to help heal issues. What keeps you going?
So what keep me going is our people are hurting. You know what I'm saying? And when I see the hurt in our communities, I'm one that cannot be silent, and I can't ignore what's taking place.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing and knowing like the level of violence and why the violence is what it is. It's because our people are hurting, and so as I'm a graduate social work student, and so as literally as a person who care about community, putting community first, I'm always one that's seeking solutions. And I understand that those solutions can't come from one individual, and so it's always about how do we have these conversations, these critical conversations to
Mm.
make our communities whole, so that we can be well together. So like this event in itself has created some conversations. Just like since we announced it last week,
Mm-hmm.
one of the parents, I'm not going to call her name, but she has now organized. She was a part of a traumatic experience, and she's now helping other survivors heal and cope through that experience. As it relates to gun violence, because we have mothers who are now in the positions to where they have to raise kids
Yeah.
by themselves. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
they need help, and they having to deal with that. And so there's now this support group that's organizing behind that. Also trying to create more regional conversations, because we know that when this crime exists, it's not just Birmingham and it's not just Pratt City or other parts of Birmingham. So we need to have regional conversations like Birmingham, Homewood, Gardendale, Fultondale,
Mm-hmm.
about what
Mhm.
can we do to reduce gun violence. And it's not necessarily all about policing, but what other alternatives can we
Right.
bring
Mhm.
to make our communities whole, so that we won't have to experience gun violence as we're experiencing it now.
Hmm. Miss Fowl, same question for you. What keeps you going? 15 years serving in Pratt City, and we've heard about the recent bust for fentanyl a couple of months ago can't come through Pratt. Just different things that we hear about Pratt City and Ensley. That's where we live. That's where we thrive. Why do you keep going?
I keep going because I see the need to keep going.
Mm.
And like most people say, Miss Files, you still doing that? So yes, I'm going to do it as long as I can do it,
Mm-hmm.
because when you see the things that go on in your community, and you know that you can live and do some things, then that's what keep me going. And whatever organization I can get in
Mm-hmm.
that has anything to do with uh, gun violence or drugs or whatever, I do try to get me a little spot in there. I really do. And I always call, Eric is my nephew.
Okay.
Okay.
And so this is a man of many resources.
Yeah.
And so I always bring him in, and he can kind of guide me sometime in places that I don't even know I can go.
Mhm.
So this is why I love what I do.
Oh, that's
And then
beautiful.
understanding that it takes those, us connecting with the other generations to make it work.
Connecting with them.
Like I may not know or may not be exposed to some of the things that you are, so therefore I need you to help me come over, bring me in, or introduce me to.
Thank
So
you.
that's one part of what makes a difference. But then what happens when now we see that the ages of those who are committing the gun crimes are getting younger, or they're more about now domestic disputes. How do we and what do we do? So I kind of want to spend the second half of this second part of the first hour talking about that, and maybe even the next hour. What type of contributions can we really make? Because that's where I get stuck. I do get stuck
it's
there.
kind of hard. You think about who is doing these things,
Mhm.
and you look at let's look at the parents.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's look at most of them. Parents is the friend to the children, instead of instead of parent being a parent.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I can't understand how these children get so out of hand. And like I say, I know a lot of things. What they took everything out of the school, the discipline, and you can't do this, you can't
Right.
have prayer, you can't do different things. But the things that you couldn't do there should be able to do at home. But we can't say and make anyone do what needs to be done. But that's exactly what needs to be done. It's no discipline. Those children are brought up like I tell my little great grandbaby. I keep her. She'll be 2 in December.
Mhm.
But do you know you can start training them right then?
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
but they don't. They are not trained. This is what I'm saying. And sometimes I feel sorry for these guys who commit some things. I really feel sorry
they
because
don't
they
know.
don't know.
They
They
don't
don't know
know.
any better
They
because
don't
they have
know.
not been
I
taught
agree with that.
anything.
So preventative measures is more of what we should be talking about, but it's difficult to get in front of these situations. And what do we think it is that what are the barriers that is inside of people's homes and we can't really get to
That we
homes, or
can't get
what?
in there. Sometimes you can't get to some of these parents. You really can't because if you try to discipline one, they let you know. Like if I see a boy with his pants sagging down, I say something to my daughter. Say, Mom, don't you? I said, I'm gonna say something to him. honey." I said, young man, why are your breeches hanging? Can you tell me why you wear them like that? Why you got to keep taking your hand when you can have a belt on? He said, yes, ma'am. I mean, no, I has never been disrespected when I ask him either. No,
Okay.
I ask him in a way that I ain't lying. I mean, I would never lie about that. You can ask them in a way
That's right.
that they don't feel
Attacked.
So
That's right.
This a young man, really and truly, used to stay right across the street from me. He dead now, but he would curse his mama clean out. And I'd come across the street. I said, Ron, were you over there cursing your mama? Yes, ma'am. I said, well, you're not ashamed of yourself. No, ma'am. I said, well, you know what? If you was a child of mine, I don't care what you saying. Boy, I would take one of them sticks and break your neck. He said, would you, Miss Fowles? I said, I certainly would. But she allowed him to curse her like that. That's why I'm saying some things I don't know what you can do about it. Because the parents.
And the deeper issues, like if I allow my child to cuss me out, what else has occurred? The reason that I can accept that from them, and those are the deeper psychological pieces that as a culture we have to get into. Like it's so much depth to us figuring out where does it start? What can we truly do to keep somebody from deciding that, hey, this is going to be the way that I respond. The first way that I'm going to respond, I'm going to shoot. And I'm shooting to kill. Like I'm not shooting a warning shot. I'm shooting to kill because of whatever the reason may be. Be it drugs in the community, we fighting over turf. And I just saw a post the other day. Y'all fighting over housing projects that don't even belong to nobody.
That is crazy.
Section 8 that you don't even
own.
And
will not own. Today, if you let the wrong person spend the night, you out of here.
So we're looking at those type issues and just the idea of like how long these things have been going on. It's not new.
It's not
It's
new.
not new.
No.
Nothing is new.
But we feel that it's worse.
I think it's worse. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I know it's worse.
Okay.
Cause
Hmm.
I'm 85 years old.
You look
Glory.
beautiful.
Oh yes, I am.
Okay.
And so I be telling them I didn't get to be 85 and not learn anything
Okay.
Mhm.
about what's going on. That's why I know it's worse.
Hmm.
When I was raised in mine, the neighbor could discipline mine. But
Right.
now you can't do that.
You can't trust your neighbor. So it's so much. It's so many layers. Like I want us to really dig
You're
into the
right.
layers.
You're right,
Dig into
baby.
the layers so that we can start to actually have some meaningful moments. Well, okay, yeah, we're doing this event. We're fighting. We're pushing this effort. We're having this conversation. But then there's actually something that can happen. We have a caller on the phone lines. Caller, you're in with Vital. What's your question or comment?
Hey, Woo.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, Woo. They,
Hey.
they were saying about the violence.
Go ahead.
Um, and I want to address some y'all are doing a good job, Woo.
Yes.
And Woo, I've been knowing you a long time, cause I respect you. You're a nice young lady.
I sure appreciate it. You are a nice young man. I thank you for calling, Mr. Madison. The phone lines are open if anybody else wants to get in and just talk about what we're speaking about as far as gun violence in the community and how impactful it is in a negative manner to society. And then the fact that it looks like it's really just happening in our areas. So if this is something that you want to chime in on, the phone lines are open. We have representation from the Pratt City area, and they have taken matters into their hands on many occasions, but this time coming up for the holiday season. And that's why they're here tonight. But just a general conversation about what's happening because we talked about it was like breaking news every couple of days last week,
Mhm.
and I was watching the comments of the ladies, and I'm like, well, yeah, here we are again, same type of thing going on, but what? But what? You know.
Right.
So answers start with action, and you all have an event coming up when once again.
So the event that we have coming up is going to be December the 8th, which is a Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
At the One Pratt Park located. It's adjacent to the Pratt City Branch Library. It's not just Pratt City community only, but it's open to all of the greater Birmingham metropolitan area. We want you to come out. It's going to be a tree lighting ceremony. We're going to have a program. It's going to be activities. We got free chili that's going to be sponsored by
Mm.
Wendy's.
Okay.
Oh, that's
I like
We
Wendy's
got,
chili.
we're gonna have hot dogs. We got game trucks. We're gonna have hot
Okay.
chocolate. And so we're grateful for our sponsors. I do want to shout out some of our sponsors. State Representative Wonderland Gavan, my very own District 9 City Councilor Latanya Tate, our school board representative for District 9, Jason Meadows, who
Mhm.
has agreed to be a partner in this event. Our very own Sheriff Mark Petway. Even with having conversations with our district attorney, all of us are literally putting our heads together to one, um, help, our hurting children and our
Right.
hurting communities, but then also figure out a plan on what we can do moving forward to prevent the gun violence and the crime. As we know we won't stop it, but we definitely want to reduce it
Mhm.
significantly. And so that's really what this is about. And well, you said something earlier, what can we do? Literally, it takes a village. The theme centered around this particular occasion, it takes a village, was literally like we can't just depend on the mayor Randall Wolfen to just stop crime. He just can't do it by himself.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So it takes literally our elected officials, our pastors, the parents, the people, all of us have to literally come together, you know what I'm saying, and do our own part, make sure our households are taken care of, and then if we do that, then we'll be straight in the community. And so, that's what event is about. We're definitely looking for um, more sponsors.
Okay.
People, it costs money. We did this back in 2017, and even with we did 150 children. We're
Mhm.
right close to that number right now. You know what I'm saying? Just this year,
Right.
you got 100 some kids who don't have a parent anymore.
They
You know
have
what I'm
been
saying?
impacted by gun
And so
violence.
I'm asked questions like, not only is it about gifts, but we have to figure out like, the parents are asking about like, can we get our child counseling?
That's beautiful.
Can we? How they can't get over it? They having these nightmares and these
Hmm.
dreams, and so I'm on the phone. I'm, trying to figure out like, hey, you know, can we have some counseling services? Like, what can we do? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? As far as an organization standpoint, I know some kids don't have insurance, so we're literally just raising funds to even support that.
Right.
Like, what I'm saying, the mental support to help these kids out.
Hmm.
And so, this is going to be a big event coming up for our kids, and it's going to be one that they're going to remember because, make sure we're going to go all out. We definitely want Lady Wu and the team to be a part of that occasion, whatever that look like. We definitely going to get together and make something happen.
For
Um,
sure.
and it's all about the kids. But one thing I always say: young people need community to sustain them,
Mhm.
so that they can look death, disease, dread, and despair in the face and be able to deal with it in a way like, look, I'm gonna handle this. We got this. So that's what it's about, yo. So we definitely asking those, come out, be a part of it, donate, sponsor a child.
And do it in your communities too. Like you said, it's not
Hmm.
just about Pratt, but if we start doing that and moving that same idea around to other areas, we would see some result. But I think that the things that you just mentioned, people are afraid to step out on those things. So I applaud you all for doing it. Like, yeah, we could do so and so, but we don't have. No, we're gonna do it anyway.
Hmm.
We're gonna do it anyway, and needing the support of the community. So from the community, you need what, and how can they reach you?
So you can always reach us via social media. You can always follow my page or contact me directly on social media. Eric Hall, that's ERICHALL. For those of you who do know me, you know that I'm the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Birmingham chapter. So you can always message me directly on Black Lives Matter Birmingham chapter official page. You can always follow the blue check. I don't have a blue check on my page, but
Mm-hmm.
Black Lives Matter definitely got the blue check. And you can find different things as relates to the information regarding the event, and so forth. And my number is very easy. I don't mind getting my number out. It's real easy to remember. It's 3812345. So the
Okay.
easiest number, all right? 3812345. Holla at me. Let me know if you want to partner, be involved, connect. Let's do it. It's about the community, you know.
All right. Well, I'm excited about it. The date, one more time.
December the 8th from
December
5
8th.
p.m. to 7
We are almost in December. Like
Mhm.
we are in November, but we're almost in December, almost the end of the year. And this is a great effort to send the year out in. Before we go to our break for the next hour, I do want to uh hit on something that you said about the like I can't imagine what that's like to have lost a parent to gun violence. Like to think about it daily that my parents suffered, and just the thought process of that. Like if you could think about your parent being shot and killed, you 8,
I can't
Right.
think about
5,
that.
Right.
right, 14.
I can't function and think about that.
I've had two members in my family lost their lives by gunshot wounds.
Mm-hmm.
I had a niece that was living with me, went out to get in the car to go to school, and her friend, her personal friend, was down in the next corner, came up, killed her after she walked out of my house. And like I said, she was just what about 19,
Mm-hmm.
and that hurt me so bad. And then I had a grandbaby that got killed because somebody shot and the bullet hit the trunk of the car and bounced and hit her in her chest and killed her. The only
Mm.
child her mama had,
Wow.
Lord.
you know. So things is just that's right. We know that violence, gun violence, is just out of hand. It's just and like I say, what is the answer?
Right.
Mm.
Right.
What
Wow. And it's those personal stories
those
about,
things
and
it is. It's whenever you lose a member of your family like that. It's
mhm.
and especially most time a gunshot. If the kill, it's just hit you all at once. Something you're not expecting at
Mhm.
all.
Mhm.
So it's like I'm saying, it's hard because that was the only child her mama had, and she never got over it. Never.
Mm.
She's dead now, but she never got over that.
You don't, like, you just don't. You learn how to. Some
Function.
people learn how to keep going and just
Right.
I got to keep going because I'm still here.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
you replay those moments and those different thoughts. You continue to think about that stuff on a daily basis. So for you all to be really focusing on children, they're in the prime of their development. This is when things really start to impact them. And I got to go the rest of my life thinking about the fact that I don't have a parent because somebody killed them. That's heavy.
It's
So that
heavy.
mental
That's
health piece
heavy.
is very, very serious and much needed. That is the area that I do serve in, and it's necessary. It's very much necessary.
Also, what I do want to I did say that I will kind of acknowledge one of the programs. So what's important about this is like literally community coming together. And one of the conversations that I've had with one of the young ladies who was a victim of gun violence, and literally had to watch her partner pass. That's now raising children. She's actually hosting some conversations
Hmm.
beginning December the 5th. It's a group called What About Us? Remembering Our Children. And their mission is about providing support services that are geared towards those individuals that have experienced the loss of a child. Support services will include a network of individuals that have been specially trained to address the spiritual aspect of losing a loved one. In addition, they're going to help with the procurement of resources and referrals through partnerships within the community. And so it's a conversation about what about us that's going to be held Sunday, December the 5th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. I will be a guest speaker. I do know that our district attorney has agreed to speak,
Okay.
and some other people. You know what I'm saying? And so this is the conversations that we need to have, and I'm grateful for the young lady that's actually putting this together because this her experience was just this year, like recently, like in August, I believe.
Hmm.
And I'm not going to go into detail about it, but she feel the need to give back, and it's also a healing process for her. You
It
know what I'm
is.
Right.
saying?
Yeah, I can imagine it is.
So yeah,
All
I just
right.
want to kind of shout that out.
All right, everybody. So you have great information and stuff that you can already start filling in on your calendar for December to go ahead and be a part of what has been shared with you and some things to think about. We're about to get into our second hour right here on B949 WATV, where the V stands for Vital on Sunday nights. We'll be right back. Very good.
Miss Files, I never would have believed that you were 85 years old.
Oh.
You look great.
We are so glad to see you. 85. I mean, you are still leading the charge. I love it. I love it. God. Hey, but you listen. You move. You shake the room. Come on.
Right.
Tell them you get it done. Don't play.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks so much. Very nice meeting you.
Bye.
Okay. Let me know how we can help.
All right.
Of course.
You've been being so good except for that last little boo boo you just did.
Baby, because you handled us rough then. And you my boy, but I'm sitting here right next to you and I'm like, now big bro, you see we on the air. You gonna
It
just
smell
handle
like
us like
collard
this.
greens.
You just look, you just gonna handle us like this. I smelt the little toot when it came out. I was like, oh Lord, we is in trouble.
Girl.
I smelt the little toot, bro. Bro, let us know it was on the way,
He was saying, he was like,
I told you, I heard my boy over here. Yo, my homeboy was like, y'all ready for this? I cut my eye over my shoulder. He didn't catch it. You better not. He said, oh yeah, watch this. And then he hit me with the grunt. You know what this is.
you already know what time it is.
You heard me hear it through. I turned around like, I can't believe you did that.
And he looking straight like he.
What? You did that. You feel better now, don't you? Who feel better now? I know it. I know it. That's what we do. Boy, them cheeks so heavy. We gon' talk about that too. Y'all need to know that.
When?
Whatever it is, we need to talk about it now because we ain't got no time.
Oh.
Okay.
Not that way in particular. Exasperation and dysfunction is how Kamala Harris frustrated started. We haven't heard nothing about her. Like since the inauguration.
That's factual. We said that though. We just said that
What?
when Sleepy Joe called Satchel Paige
God,
the
like,
great
where is
Negro.
Kamala?
Who? What? Why don't you have race relations and your vice president is back?
Huh?
Y'all hear static? I need my hair. Ends live. V94.9 WATV, second hour of the Abby Award-winning Vital Show right here on the V. I'm Lady Wu. Got my sisters with me. The Vital Vixens are in the building. Y'all want to introduce yourselves for a second time?
Yeah. This black, y'all.
All right, y'all. She done called me Lovely Bones a couple times. This your girl, Lovely Bones. Hey.
You got to own your name anyway.
And this is Santa.
And we are back. Very, very powerful first half of the show. And coming back, the Vixens are what that's about. People be like, I want to be a Vixen, but is it for all girls? Like, come on. That's just who the panel is, Mr. Whoever you may be that
Listen,
may say something
sir.
like that, right? We've done all types of panels. I've had all guys, I've had guys and girls, I've had couples, I've had everybody. And now we have the Vital Vixens who are really holding down the fort. So I'm just really happy to have these ladies in the studio and on the team. It's really a great asset to the radio airwaves. Speaking of another lady in leadership, Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States of America, who we have heard nothing about or from, no initiatives, no nothing. And I'm going to read you this story. I want to read you this story about her. Worn out by what they see as entrenched dysfunction and lack of focus. Key West Wing aides have largely thrown up their hands at Vice President Kamala Harris and her staff, deciding there simply isn't time to deal with them right now, especially at a moment when President Joe Biden faces quickly multiplying legislative and political concerns. The exasperation runs both ways. Interviews with nearly 3 dozen former and current Harris aides, administration officials, Democratic operatives, donors, and outside advisors who spoke extensively to CNN reveal a complex reality inside the White House. Many in the vice president's circle fume that she's not being adequately prepared or positioned and instead is being sidelined. The vice president herself has told several confidants she feels constrained in what she's able to do politically. And those around her remain weary of even hinting at future political ambitions. With Biden's team highly attuned to signs of disloyalty, particularly from the vice president. She's a heartbeat away from the presidency now. She could be just a year away from launching a presidential campaign of her own, giving doubts throughout the political world that Biden will actually go through with a re-election bid in 2024, something he's pledged to do publicly and privately. She'll be a critical validator in 3 years for a president trying to get the country to re-elect him to serve until he's 86. Few of these insiders who spoke with CNN think she's being well prepared for whichever role it will be. Harris is struggling with a rocky relationship with some parts of the White House, while longtime supporters feel abandoned and see no coherent public sense of what she's done or been trying to do as vice president. Being the first woman and first woman of color in national elected office is historic, but has also come with outsized scrutiny and no forgiveness for even small errors, as she'll often point out. I'm just going to skip down a little bit. She's perceived to be in such a weak position that top Democrats in and outside of Washington have begun to speculate privately, asking each other why the White House has allowed her to become so hobbled in the public consciousness, at least as they see it. Okay.
Where's she at though?
Like blink twice.
I'm saying, what has she
blink.
done that we're saying she's been hobbled? She's, oh my God, she's being stifled. She's not being allowed. What initiatives has she tried? We hadn't heard anything
Not a
from her
word.
since she was in that park. Oh my God, Joe, we did it. We did it. Girl, I ain't seen you since you been on that job. Girl, you
And everybody
okay?
had on them on they Converse and they pearls
Baby.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Where you at now, girl?
It was a big
Child.
moment. Like it was a big historical moment, but past that
Child.
moment, there like where and what is going on. So are you all thinking that maybe this is a thing of like, well, because she's a woman of color, that these particular so it's like, yeah.
Yeah,
That was your
yeah.
job. That was your
That-
key
come
job to
on.
get him in office, to get
That was
especially
it.
black women, because black women will go and vote before black men will.
Mhm.
So, and then you backed up by AKAs.
Yes.
So, I mean, even people that weren't AKAs were wearing the pearls and the Converse. So yes, we got to get him in office because we have to get her in office. We got to support her, not necessarily supporting you, Joe. But yeah, and it's like now, like, okay, thank you. You can sit over here.
But if I'm the vice president, I'm going to say something or
You better.
something.
And she
Mhm.
seems so strong. And
Oh, she was strong. She strongly put them black men in prison. She strongly was a district attorney, a state attorney. So she's not. I'm Mrs. Harris. Let me look directly in the camera. Which one? So,
Let me talk to you.
right, Mrs. Harris. While I understand being a vice president must be very strenuous, I'm sure being a black woman in power is actually the concern. But that's not something you're unfamiliar with. What we're unfamiliar with is not seeing from you, not hearing from you, because you were so vocal in the seat you were in where you were. So I'm I'm befuddled at
So-
what's going on.
In the seat that she was in, she wasn't the vice president of the United
She
States
wasn't.
of America. And something strong that you said, black women in leadership.
That's her. I think that's the problem, that she's a black woman in leadership. So I do believe she'd be stifled for that. But I don't. What has she done? Because let me tell you, we'll knock all this over, ma'am. What do you talk? You don't have
Do you
anything.
need us to come up
right?
here and
What's
give you some
happening?
ideas for initiatives as a woman of color in
That-
in
thank you.
politics? So do you need to go? Do we need to create you a rundown of things that you can do, or what? So let's look at it from a broader perspective. Black women in leadership. What that looks like, the struggles that black women in leadership face. Even emotionally, how black women in leadership have to really try to function through their own life in the face of the rest of the world who's saying, well, you're a black woman in leadership. And first of all, I'm black. Secondly, I'm a woman. Third, I'm leading something. If there's a day where it ain't working and it ain't coming together, it ain't. But then if there's a whole term of where it ain't coming together,
Right.
or a whole business that's failing because it's not coming together, then what needs to happen? So help me help her or whoever it is that we're trying to help when it comes to black women in leadership.
Like, is she even reaching out to the women that are senators, black females that are senators like this? I've seen a post where they say that she like communicates with the other race of women more than, and I know there's not a lot of black female senators, but like
That's a
y'all
good
can't come
number.
It's a
together
good number.
and, you know what I'm saying, work together, like have this force. It's like we're here and we're gonna be heard, and this is what we think needs to be done. Like, what's going on with it?
The last I heard about her doing anything was an interview during, was it The View or one of those shows where they had COVID and she was backstage or something like that. That's the last I heard. Before that, I hadn't heard anything either.
Nothing else.
So when it comes to black women in leadership, I hear you loud and clear saying there's a sense of partnership that has to happen. There are other women that you can go and pull into your circle to help
I
you get
agree
the
with
job
that.
done. That's exactly what has happened here. Okay, well, yeah, you can do Vital by yourself every Sunday. Get the paper, take calls, and have guests. Great, I could. But I would rather not. I would love to hear the opinions of others, have different energy, different thought processes to come in and be a part of the show. So then when it comes to leadership and those obstacles that black women face in leadership, you know, what does that look like? The best example I think we have is Oprah Winfrey. Oprah does not show any signs of weakness ever, and she has a
That's
lot
true.
of money and a circle that is equally
As
balanced.
clad tight.
Right?
Yeah.
Equally balanced.
Yeah.
So who when black women in leadership comes to mind, who do you even think of?
Maya Angelou.
Really? She was a poet, but I mean,
Bless your heart,
Yeah.
because Lord,
Who else?
I-
Maxine Waters.
Maxine
yeah.
Waters. for
yeah,
sure.
because definitely Reclaim My Time.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like you don't know her because she probably could tell you how to handle yourself.
Right.
Like,
You
need to
know.
have a
Like,
meeting with
sister,
Auntie
come sit
Keisha.
down.
Keisha Bottoms.
Oh, from
Yeah,
Atlanta.
yeah.
Yeah.
She started off that way.
She
Yeah.
did.
She
She
started off
did
that way.
so strongly. But I think they done wore down like the guy in Chicago. She a girl. I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing with you.
Right.
Stacey Abrams in
Oh,
in
definitely,
Georgia.
Oh yeah.
definitely.
Mhm.
So
I'll
Stacey
go with
Abrams
that. Yeah.
is very influential. Her run for governor, the people that she got registered to vote, these
Yes.
were personal efforts that she
Mhm.
was able to, morale people enough to support her, like in so many different places. This is what I need to do to get in, and if I don't get in, we're gonna do it everywhere, and then you're gonna get out anyway.
Right.
Stacey Abrams really made a change, but now we're just thinking about political people in leadership. When I think about black women in leadership, I start to think about organizations, nonprofits, even principals of schools, women in leadership, heads of households.
Right.
Mhm.
What are the obstacles that women that lead, which is most of us in some way,
Mhm.
what are the things that we face? What keeps us from being able to be just as being able to thrive as we did when the idea was sold that, hey, I'm gonna go for it? What happens along the way?
I think for a lot of people, like especially with black women, whenever we open our mouths and we express how we feel, it's confrontational. We're confrontational. We're very feisty. So okay, we don't really want to hear you because we don't want that type of drama. And it's like, no, we want to be heard. It's like, I guess it's well, I can't get the word out, presentation, but people just don't receive it in a way that you're like, okay, we try to be subtle, that doesn't work. We're fiery, that doesn't work. So what do we have to do to really be heard? Like, and so it's kind of been like watered down in a way where like these other races of females, when they do it, it's like, yes, that's power and we love it.
Okay.
Why can't we do that?
So black women have the reputation of being confrontational and whatever that's not true.
Right.
Angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're angry, bitter black women, and okay, we don't want to deal with that. But let another race of women say, "Oh, that's powerful. That's
I agree.
Me Too
inspirational."
movement.
I promise I agree. And that's exactly what I was going to say. Most black women, when you get into a position of authority or a position of leadership, I don't want to appear too black. And that is a real term. Like I was a leader for T-Mobile here, and they used to cringe at my urbanness. It used to be like, Lord be offense, Rosa, if you could just turn that down just a little. And what got you here? No lie, this is a real thing that happened. I was at a temp agency, and my friends that worked with me at the time will tell you. I was at a temp agency, and I was going to transition from my temp agency to a regular employee at Section 8, working in the inspections department. The woman at the time, like they had an investigation, all kinds of stuff happened after this. The woman at the time told me that the man who was the director at the time would hire me if I came in the way I started. Here's the caveat, guys. I started with a wig on, but by the time I had started to go full time, I had locks. So that man made that statement, and nothing about me was different except for
Your
my
hair. Wow.
And I deal with stuff about my hair at work now.
Like currently.
Right.
I promise
have
to God
to
it happened.
Wrap mine up.
It was like it is a unfortunate reality what Scent is saying. Like if you are, especially if you're not a black woman that's petite, I'm 5'11". I command a lot of attention when I walk in a room. So so it's like God, at this size, you can't be, your voice can't be too loud. Pipe down a little bit, because you're already, girl, hold on. You're black and it's a lot going on here. Slow down. So it's a real thing. So I'm glad you challenged that thought, because I do empathize more for Mrs. Harris, because I can understand. it will create a self-consciousness about you. It either will create a self-consciousness or it will create an attitude that says, I got a lot of effort in me. 2 tears in a bucket and
and that comes with the experiences. So like the more and more that you have to experience trying to lead as a woman, having moments of emotion, because I mean, let's be real, humans have emotion anyway. Women are more emotional outwardly.
Yeah.
So there are moments that we may be
Mhm.
vulnerable, emotional, vulnerable and emotional, and it may impede on that moment. Will it impede on my decision as a leader?
That's factual. I
You know
like
what I mean?
that. Yes.
Like I'm gonna let me just go sit in my office over here in this West Wing.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all stop coming knocking on my door. Okay. Let me get myself together. Let me do that. Let me take a few minutes to get myself together, and then let's come back to the war in Pazukatal.
Okay.
Okay.
The
As
win.
for right now, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not in a place to talk about that. And whatever it is, or whoever the next in command is, you should be able to do. That's why you're here. Now, am I being abrasive or that black woman that is whatever the word is by saying, hey, that's your role. Like right now, I can't deal with this. Can you please take that?
No, because especially when other people and even racist sex can do that. So
Mhm.
why is it a problem when I say this
I
is
can't
my
right now.
issue?
Yeah.
I can't.
Now
This
I
is your
think that
job.
as a black woman, you can't. Period. You can't do that. It's no,
Any day.
you can't any day. I think it goes to say for at home moms, entrepreneurs, therapists, nurses, right? It cannot be done. You can't be tired. You cannot fold. You can't. That's just not accepted as an answer for us,
But
right?
then everyone is going to tell you, girl, but you need to take some time.
But
for
take a
you.
break.
You
Yeah,
know,
self-care.
You gotta do that. You gotta just you gotta unplug.
They don't mean that.
I'm a therapist, and I'm one that can say it's easy for you to say if you're not running my household, right? If you're not contributing to my daily level of wooing, there's nothing that you can understand about the time that I don't have to do that. So another question that I just got from somebody was, when do we have permission to break?
We don't.
Come on.
When do you do that?
Because that's what I was going to say. Like when you said people say, oh, well, you need to take a break. You need me time. But then when you do that, it's like, well, what's wrong with her? Something wrong with her. Something going on.
Acting funny. She
Yeah.
answer the phone.
It's like,
Just
you
text
know,
me. That's why I don't feel like talking.
I have to go to work. I have to take care of these kids. I have to do house duties, cook. And a lot of times I can't find that me time. So there may be times where I just don't want to talk. I just don't want to do anything
Right.
on job or at home. You know, I had to explain to my kids, hey, close that door. Don't bother me. I need my space. I need a break.
Here's the question.
I was gonna say like 994-8949, 994-8949. Jump in on the conversation. We got a call coming in right now. Caller, you're in with Vital on B94.9 WATV. What's your question or comment?
Local lady, woo woo.
What's up?
I speak your name, woo woo.
WOO. Callers, when you call about the topic at hand, 994-8949, 994-8949. We do appreciate the love and support of those of you who listen weekly and want to call in, but call about the topic at hand. Ladies, gentlemen, thinking about when can we truly break? And when I say we, I don't just mean
female.
Yeah, like I mean the leader of whatever it is. But looking at the story that this comes from with Kamala Harris, we don't really know the full extent of what's happening in DC.
Yeah.
Now, Rosa, earlier in the week, the president was speaking somewhere. What happened?
Child, he would like to make a reference. Sleepy Joe, come in here in this camera right here, sir. I'm gonna tell you why I'm looking at
What
talking to
happened?
you. Don't ever again in your presidency quote anyone, past or present, and refer to them as the great Negro.
He got dementia.
He should have more than that,
That's
sir.
why I was closed.
Be I don't even know what to say. And before you come on here with what's politically correct, you let someone call you a great Negro today. the great
I hope
Negro.
I hope he was trying to say, the Negro League.
Negro League,
or
right.
something. I
He
hope
said the
so.
great Negro from the Negro League. No,
Like what? How
I
old are
was
you?
like,
So you look at some different things about like the,
great
you know,
Negro.
how old are you? But then just before he became president, when he was vice president, of course he was young. Like that was 2 terms younger, so he was a little bit swifter. I don't think he would have said that at that point in life. Now here we are. He is.
I got the seat now, and
But I don't think it's that, Rosa. It's how old I am, and I'm really foggy.
Yeah.
And so I'm talking about, this is a time where I am talking about the Negro League baseball. Like I'm going downtown to the Negro League Museum, but I'm not going to refer to Satchel Paige or any of them as the Negro. But I will say the ball player that was a part of the Negro. You know, like it's a way to
Right,
put it,
right.
Right.
But this was an unscripted speech given by, how old is our president? Let's see.
Child, he too old to be talking like he don't know not to say
I
that.
don't know better.
So vice president's role in all of that would be to say
Race
anything?
relations. I'm black,
she
sir.
been
Don't
there.
say that. Let me tell you.
He's 78.
Okay, go away.
Okay, he's 78. I don't know what this is, but okay, gotta come in. I'm not sure what it even says. But at that age, she as a vice president is almost like a daughter. Like, look, that is let me do this. Because
Right.
You are
You messed up.
this is not gonna be good for us as leadership. If we're gonna try to do anything different, like let me take these type moments.
Let me bridge the gap
I have
for
not
you.
seen her even do that. I have not seen her at any events. So what's happening?
Hmm.
But could it be a catch-22 for her? Like, oh, this is all you're gonna, like, you're trying to speak up for him or take up for him in instances where he misses his words up or says the wrong thing. Like, oh, so it's like that. You're not gonna
I can see
correct
that.
him. You're just gonna have his back, and that's it. I don't know.
I guess for her, it's as you're saying, is hey, she loses or she loses. She
Yeah.
either loses the white party, Caucasian party, or she loses the African American party.
So make
Right.
that decision then. Like at some point,
Pick
you
a
make
side.
Right,
You
at
better
some,
say it.
right. At some point, you do make a decision to say, you know what, this is why I'm in.
Mhm.
You know, these are the things that I ran on. And one thing I want to do is make sure that all people are represented. But when there's an issue that somebody needs to get in front of, I'm going to be the one to get in front of it because I get it. I'm both.
And
I'm mixed.
The main reason
She
why
doesn't
you
get it.
were,
Right. That was
elected, and
right.
he was elected.
Right.
Like,
What you said you could bring to the community, how you
Right.
felt impacted and touched by the community. We're not seeing that. And it's unfortunate. We're not seeing that. That's just factual. And dealing with coming from a position of non-politics, because y'all know I told y'all this rigged anyway. I don't want to do it.
Mhm.
And y'all told me stop playing. So
Mhm.
okay,
It is.
now okay, I'm gonna pay attention and we're gonna follow it. We haven't received anything as a community, even Joe.
A
So
conversation.
right. So I wonder, what is your position? What is your role? I get it. You don't want the stigma of the black girl. That's not what you want to be known as. I'm
But
okay
she
with that.
is,
But
though.
that's what you are.
But
You're right.
that's what you are, but that's what you're not, because everybody was very technical about, well, I mean, she is actually not. If she identifies as, and if she got an ounce or a drop or whatever the amount of blood it is that you have to be black, you're
You're
black.
black.
And if her hair gets wet and it turns into a fro,
Okay.
okay. So that's
If you have
that's that
shrinkage,
part.
girl, you're black.
Yeah, that's that part. Like that's just what it is.
Right.
So at some point we have to be confident enough in ourselves and the roles that we're in to be in the role. I'm here,
I agree with
and
that.
y'all gonna have to accept me as I am. You voted me in, and even if you didn't, if it is rigged, I'm still here. I
She
got
needs
the
you,
keys.
Woo. She needs to be wooed because she's
'Cause I don't-
she's
you know,
lost right now.
yeah,
We don't
you know.
know.
Like, look, it is what it is.
Come on to the Vita Show. Come
Come
to
on,
Birmingham,
girl.
Alabama, and come on in the studio and let's have a sit down.
Tell her again,
Yeah.
Sent, because
Let's figure it out. So then let's see what else has happened in the news that people are looking at and talking about. I don't know if this one right here. Well, I want y'all to talk about the 5 inmates, including the 2 murder suspects that escaped from the county jail in Georgia. Because I don't know enough. I want to know how 5 of them got out too. That is
That's
five
interesting.
of them, right? I don't know about that story, so that's why we won't talk about that one. Hadn't done any research on it, but if you have some information on it, feel free to call in
Tell
or
us
send it
about
to us, and we'll discuss it.
I was how Rittenhouse was looking ugly with the
Ooh.
Child, if what
Girl.
I thought we weren't even gonna give him the time of day
We absolutely
because,
are.
sir,
Let's bring people up to speed on this particular
Kyle
case.
Rittenhouse.
Not the theatrics, but I think that like a lot of people I was gonna say stop watching. I don't know if they ever watched or know how and what put him in the news.
I was about to say a lot of people don't know he killed white people. A lot of people think
Mm.
we are fighting because he killed black people, and he did not. So,
a young white lady.
and
Okay, so okay, tell us.
he
what
killed
happened.
2 white protesters,
Mhm.
and the sad thing about Kyle is his mom put him in the car, drove him across state lines with an automatic rifle, and he was allowed to walk through the Black Lives Matter protest, and he was allowed to set up and target protesters, which he targeted white men. And when it first started for me, I was like, man, this white on white violence, y'all got to get it under control.
Is that what you said?
That's what I said. But I see I honestly think most of the outrage is from ignorance. No one is really taking the time to figure out what Kyle has done. So we are sitting there outraged for this man, and he's putting on the show of his life. And we're like, Black Lives Matter. And I'm like, but he didn't kill a black man. I'm not trying to be funny, but someone correlated this case to George Zimmerman.
10 years
I was
ago
like,
happened.
so the white man he killed is Trayvon? I think not. I do understand the outrageousness of it. I do understand
in the context of where he was.
Yes.
Like where he was and that his
It's
idea
that
was
moment.
yeah,
Yes.
that's what it was.
But
But-
his courage is just what we're watching. You saw this man turn into a baby doll, and you're like, this is poor acting.
Oh, that was horrible.
Poor acting.
How did he get off? That's
Right.
How he gonna get off is because the judge is part of the Pride Boys. He started it, and the judge already signed the exit signature. As soon as this is over, walk right on out, Kyle.
And they already calling the National Guard out there.
They
Already
already
done
know.
did it.
500 Wisconsin National Guard
Yeah.
troops activated
Yeah.
ahead of the verdict.
Yeah.
Because they already know.
And a man came on with the I think the Klan theme song or something. They said it was
Right,
swinging
it
on
was
his
playing in the
phone.
background.
Because they braced it for the outcome.
You
'Cause
know.
They already know.
The
They
judge
already
said,
know
"Don't
what they're
call
doing."
them victims. They were riders." Should
So-
Your
so
Honor.
If somebody comes along that sees, okay, he can get away with this,
Mm.
and another incident happens where they're protesting, and some young white kid or grown white man says, okay, I want to get my rifle and I want to go down and shoot
Mhm.
because I can get away with it. In that instance, a black person is killed. Like,
It's a,
you can't say his excuse was I was protecting myself.
Yep.
Why did you go down there with a rifle anyway?
Why
What was
isn't
the
the mom
point?
accountable for this?
Well,
Because she put
doesn't
her
want
minor.
Yeah, she doesn't want him to be painted as a racist person. I'm like, well, what is the conversation here? Let's look at something. The judge did say that those men should not be called victims.
Mm-mm.
He said
He
during
won't
the
allow
trial.
them. Like you, the prosecutor cannot. The prosecutor cannot call the victims victim. Hey, no,
See,
they not victims. They are riders. The man has made a ruling in his courtroom. You
that they
will
were
not refer
rioters.
to them as victims.
The man accused of shooting 3 people, 2 fatally, during protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin last year, standing trial this month. That man is who we're talking about right now, Cal. Cal Rittenhouse's homicide trial for Kenosha shootings opens with jury selection. Defense lawyers say Cal Rittenhouse, then 17, was acting in self-defense last August when he shot and killed Anthony Huber, who was 26, Joseph Rosenbaum, 36, and injured Gage Grosskreutz, who is now 27. Last week, Kenosha County Circuit Judge Bruce Schroeder said the 3 men can potentially be referred to as rioters or
Told you.
looters during the trial, but reiterated his long-standing rule that attorneys not refer to them as victims.
It's a ruling.
It's a rule, right?
I told you.
Rittenhouse is charged with felony homicide related to the killings of Hoover and Rosenbaum and felony attempted homicide in connection with Grosskreutz injury. He is also charged with possession of dangerous weapon while under the age of 18, a misdemeanor. He has pled non guilty. A jury of 20 people, 11 women and 9 men, was selected Monday. Schroeder said Monday the group of 20 will be narrowed to 12 once deliberations begin. He went with a larger number of jurors because of the expected length of the trial, which he told jurors will last roughly 2 weeks. All right.
So if I was a black mother that
Mhm.
allowed my black son to get in a car and I drive him across state lines with an automatic rifle that is illegal for him to have, me as a black mother, I'm gonna be seen about. So I think
Your black son wouldn't be here
today.
He wouldn't be here.
No, he didn't make it. He didn't make it. So, but I'm saying here we are identifying, oh, we want to charge him because as a minor, you weren't even supposed to have this gun. Who are you charging with
So you
this?
need to
You're
charge his
charging the
parents
crime
then.
to the minor? This makes no sense. But if it was a woman of color, I would wear that charge.
Listen to this. Videos from the scene show Rittenhouse carrying an AR-15 style rifle walking the city streets with a group of armed men. Basically, one of the guys that was killed, her boyfriend said that he launched at the armed individual to protect her and other people nearby. So when you hear these cases, yeah, I would say George Zimmerman simply because George Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin in the name of what? Protecting his neighborhood or something like that going on.
Skittles.
Kyle Rittenhouse goes to protect the streets of Kenosha from the
Another
rioters
state.
and looters.
Mm.
The guys that killed Ahmaud Arbery killed him protecting the houses in the neighborhood.
Oh, child.
Do you hear the common
The
thread
rhetoric.
of what they all get off and are allowed to do?
Mm-hmm.
So
We're-
y'all some martyrs. That's what you're trying to say?
Basically, we're the protectors of our neighborhood.
Right. I had to. It's
and our
self
people.
defense.
Yeah, they were bothering something that belongs to us in our
Simply
neighborhood.
said.
You look suspicious. Why was Ahmaud Arbery in this home? Why was he even in this vacant property taking items out or whatever he was doing? So we saw him and we chased him down and killed him. What's wrong with that? Trayvon Martin 10 years ago was doing whatever he was doing. Yeah, they say he was walking, but he was acting all crazy and moving erratically, and he put up a fight. And I was just protecting the neighborhood.
So can we do that?
Skittles, didn't he?
Yeah, and
Can we do that?
No.
Somebody come walking down the street in Ensley. I don't feel safe with you being here, sir. I'm gonna pull my gun out and chase you down.
Let's be more specific. Someone white.
right.
Yeah.
So it is.
You're gonna be called a victim.
994-8949. This is the number if you want to get in on this conversation on a Sunday night before you get into your work week. We don't want to make you mad at anyone. We just want you to look at what's really happening in the world. Like, this is really what's happening. These are the headlines. These are the stories that are real life. They're news stories, but these are the real life experiences of people right now. This is happening right now. And then we just had a conversation last hour about gun violence in our community against each other.
Yes.
Help me understand how any of this makes any sense. They get off killing us. Most times we get off killing us too.
Because we don't tell who the other
it's
person
crazy.
is. It's
994-8949, 994-8949, or feel free to comment on the thread that you're watching. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in the First Amendment. I'm gonna say what I need to say. I'm gonna shoot when I need to shoot, right? But I'm not going to abuse those coverings to be radical in my train of thought. Like, I have a personal vendetta against people who I feel should not be considered the person that I am because of the color of their skin. And so therefore I'm superior. And when I see them or I feel any way about them that whatever, I can act how I want. I don't see me being that person. I don't see many of us being those people. So what does this conversation then turn to? Because that's not what's happening in our areas. What's happening in our areas when it comes to gun violence, let's be real, is lack of resources, lack of education, lack of support. It's lack. It's all in lack. And even if I'm robbing, I'm stealing, it's because of lack. Period. It's because of lack of opportunity. And then
Lack
people
of
say, well, no,
jobs.
everybody got the same opportunities.
Everybody doesn't have the
No,
same
that's not true.
opportunity.
That's not
Right.
true.
It's not true.
Everybody doesn't have
It's
the same
not true.
education. Everybody doesn't come from the same neighborhoods. Everybody isn't afforded the same lifestyle.
That's facts.
Like
Yeah, I got mine. They should have been able to get theirs too. Everybody can go to school and learn. No,
everybody
no,
can.
No.
no.
I think it what Miss
Files.
Miss Files
Mhm.
said resonates with me. It really does start back at home.
Mhm.
I understand that. So the old way, I think, is just that, the old way.
Mhm.
I do think evolution has to happen. But I do agree with what is happening. What are we instilling in our children, right? I do agree with it's younger and younger children we're seeing, right? It
Right.
was some teenagers that took our police on a chase,
14-year-old,
Yeah.
right,
Older,
like it was a real
the
live,
14-year-old was the oldest.
it's a real life felony action happening right now. And where's your parents at?
right.
So
You can't hear anything.
oh,
Oh,
you can't hear me? Lord be
why not?
offense.
Are you talking to your mic?
Hello, hello,
Oh,
Say it, talk again.
hello. No one can hear me.
well, you're on.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Right.
I mean, I can hear because I'm sitting right next to it, but yeah, like that, like she said, the oldest child was 14, and I forgot how old the youngest one was, but my 14-year-old, well, my 13-year-old is scared to be at home by herself at night. But you got other 14-year-olds that will hop in a car with no problem, like they not scared at all to hop out and drive. You going now? Jesus.
When I was 14,
Would you just take your parents' car
yes, but
Not,
It-
not,
without permission?
not for
Yeah.
crime, but to be fast.
right.
Right.
So the one time that did happen, we were at church and they take too long, basically, and
You
we figured like if we go ahead and jump in the car right quick and shoot up the McDonald's in 5 points and get back, they won't know it, and we did. I may have been 15.
okay, that's different.
But I still didn't have a license. And then I
You had a
still
permit?
had my brother in the ar with me. Like, why are you in here with me doing this?
we
So,
already
yeah.
know. We saw him on a leash earlier. So we already know he bad.
So yeah, that happened. But I would not know me as an individual at 13, 14 would not even want to risk it.
Right.
Y'all
You
come
wouldn't
get in
in
the car
your
with me.
in
They're not
our
even
time,
scared.
in our friend, right? That's why I agree with Miss Fowles. Like it's something that's missing because it's a generational gap or something that's missing. Because in our time, we would not have. I may have taken it to go to Piggly Wiggly, get me a
Right,
red
just
pop,
because I can,
you know.
and
But I'm bringing this back, babe. I ain't got to. I'm not gonna live like this.
Right.
So it's not the same thing. I agree with Miss Fowles to a degree because no, I don't think we'll ever go back to what it was, and I don't think that was 100% right. Right? I think the both of you should get together and figure out how to work what you both are saying because I think it's underlying trauma that needs to be healed. That's why so many parents, single or not, is saying, no, my way will be better than the way you'll tell me. Because I've been hurt and I haven't healed from the way you raised me. So you
Right.
definitely can't tell me what to do with my child. No, my community didn't protect me because you can't trust your neighbors.
And you don't even know your neighbor. I
Yeah.
see y'all, but we have not
Mm-mm.
met in
they-
the middle of the street and had a
They're into it.
conversation.
I don't like you, and we're fighting. We're on live, Facebook Live,
Child.
fighting. Got into it. We beefing every time we come out on the porch. And then too, like a lot of parents today just want to be their
They
children's friend,
Mhm.
and they're trying to live their life how they want to, and they really don't want to be a parent. And so, as that child, you see the parent like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. We're doing crime and being in the streets in the wrong way together. We're running together doing these things. Like,
Yeah.
Wasn't that little boy at 8 that stole the school bus and took them
Oh,
up?
in Kingston, and he didn't.
No, that was a Max bus.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was a Max,
something.
Yeah, he
that
was
was
on a
some
Max
kind of bus.
bus.
But then there was another little boy in Louisiana that did the same thing.
Is that the one
Stole
that
a
was
school
smoking a
bus.
cigarette?
Yeah,
Is that him?
Little boy stole the Max bus back in.
Yeah, it happened in Kingston. Like the boy stole the bus and took the police on the chase in Kingston. He
might
was
have been like
little.
8.
Yeah, he
he
was
like 8,
little.
really
Like they
young.
couldn't
So
prosecute him.
It's like this generation of kids.
Yeah,
that
it's
are
a
coming up. I'm like,
generation.
okay, is it their parents? is it drug use while pregnant, or like what is something different about these kids? Because they'll try stuff that we wouldn't dare try.
But there were people around us who would try stuff like this. I can name people that I know that did stuff and be like,
Constantly
what
in
is
trouble.
wrong with
Yeah.
what
Stole
in
the
the
bus.
if they had a chance to, yeah. We got to be real about the fact that nothing is new.
It's not
we just
new.
have more
We got more sense than that.
Like I would be more afraid of my
outlets.
parents than the police if I went out there and got caught doing something like, okay, yeah, I gotta go to jail, but dang, if I get
Then
bugged,
you
I
gonna
gotta
call
go
my
home.
mama, right?
Okay, so let's talk about it from this angle. When we were growing up, and when our viewers and listeners were growing up, there weren't open conversations about mental health.
Mm-mm.
You couldn't pinpoint your mom being depressed or anxious, or your dad having PTSD. You didn't know any of that. And so that kind of gave them an upper hand to just be who they were, and you just had to be scared because you didn't know what was gonna be next.
And
Now children know, like, my mom be taking her medicine for this, and that, and I know that I can call CPS or DHR. They know these things because it's public. We
Mhm.
didn't have social media.
We did.
We
That is a big
didn't.
difference. We did
We
not
had
have
the
social media.
news where you
Yeah, we had
kinda-
to learn as we go.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
we watched TV with our parents. We didn't
Mhm.
have
TVs
YouTube
in
and
our
Shazam. I
room,
mean, not
and-
Shazam. We didn't have YouTube and a game system that we could watch
Mhm.
TV on. No, you
Yeah.
blow the cartridge, you play the game, and that's all that it did. It didn't play music. So now our children are growing up with us.
Mhm.
Actually, like this
Because
is the reality.
they're streamlined information.
Yeah.
Sometimes your kid is able to tell you, "No, this don't work
Most
like this."
times.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like my child is coming around. Mommy, you heard about her? Like what?
Yeah,
And I have to
most
Google it, like,
times.
what you said?
Mhm.
Most times. So like we have to be really like, let's be real about the fact that in 2021, it ain't 84, it ain't 92. This is
Mm-mm.
not 97. This ain't
Mm-mm.
2000. 2021, almost 22. Things are different, and we have to see them for what they are. But when it comes to the conversation about being black, when it comes to the conversations about being safe and being black, being a black woman, or any other things that we've discussed tonight, those lessons definitely start in the home, or at least with the village. Churches aren't meeting right now. They ain't talking about that. All we've talked about over a year is COVID.
Hmm.
So a whole year of everything has been lost. So one more conversation that I had with somebody over this week was the fact that parents teachers are seeing and meeting second graders who can't identify letters.
Mm.
What?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can't identify, like you don't know your ABC.
No.
That's something that a lot of kids know before they even get to school.
They're in the second grade now, but think about 2 years ago what was going on. COVID.
So they for you was at home. So what your mom and daddy was doing?
Talking about COVID and letting
Right.
you play. Yes,
YouTube, they
no.
was looking at YouTube.
Talking about
Story.
COVID, the child know to wear a mask. I bet you put a mask in
Right.
front of a child, they know what to do with it.
Exactly. So you like this is what has happened. A whole 2-year learning gap and growth gap for everybody because of the pandemic. For a whole 2 years, yeah, like parents did initially all of us are trying to figure out, well, how are we going to educate our kids? I'm just not going to teach math, and everything else I can do, But I do also believe that some parents know that they have children who are just educationally inclined to be able to just keep up. Like, we were in school for a few weeks, and these are the bases that we got, so I can kind of
Mhm.
build on this at home. Other children had parents who were at work. They had to go with their grandparents every day, their great grandparents, their cousins, or whoever, and they missed 2 years basically of primitive work.
That's factual because the 2-year. So think about these 2-year-olds are right now. They've missed interaction with other toddlers.
Mhm.
They've missed vital moments, right?
Yeah.
That trigger their growth. That make them who we are today, right?
So they're
So-
going to be so different.
They-
are
but
gonna be
okay.
different.
You can sit an iPad in front of them though.
Hey.
Bet you they can work that.
and work it better
So,
than you.
I don't think there's an excuse for not knowing your ABCs if you can work an iPad. I'm sorry. I don't accept that. I just do not.
Get in the
Because
classroom.
even though you're watching YouTube, there are educational things on YouTube for kids. It's about what you're watching. So that comes down on the parents. that comes down to who's supposed to be supervising or
Right.
watching them. Like, don't just sit them down and then let them watch videos
This is
all day.
facts.
Like,
I agree.
you can regulate what your kids are watching. There are parental controls on those things. So do that. Don't just say, well, it's the teacher responsibility, because no, it's on you as well.
I
There are
agree with
numerous
that.
apps
Yeah, I
that are
agree with that. Especially at a young age, because you should already be cultivating these little bitty minds at this age.
I read them now.
Right. So it's a forming habit, right? Education is only a habit forming thing. Like
Mhm.
you take it in and it's repetitive. I learned it. I moved on. So it's safe to say during COVID, I will give people the pass of the first 3 to 6 months because I don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
we just
feel
did
We'll
not
give
know,
you
I
that.
right?
feel, I'll
Yeah.
give you that pass. Now, this last year and a half, not so much because once we kind of,
That's the new normal.
right, the first 6 months look like the second 6 months, look like the third 6 months, look like
Mhm.
this next 6 months that we going in and nobody still realized they have to have a mask. They finna stop selling them. So where where do you pick up your normal at, right? Where do you have bedtime story with Baby Road? Where are you getting those touching
When do you create
spell
your
books?
when do you
And
create your system? Like
that's right.
I don't if the schools never open again, is my
That,
child just
come
not
on,
gonna know how to read?
child.
Right.
Sorry.
And like that, just like regardless of COVID, everything should not just fall on the school system.
I agree with that.
Like, education doesn't just stop when you leave school. It's not just from 8 to 3.
Well, this is what the teachers are saying.
Mm,
This is one of the obstacles that they're facing for early learning, early development. Is that
mm.
those second, third grade ish students, like around that age and that grade, are having some of not just generally, but
So
they are
7 to 8
seeing
year
it.
olds.
Yeah, they're seeing that these students who were in pre-K and kindergarten miss those skills. That's when
Mm.
you learn how to write your name, how to draw a box, or whatever it is you're learning.
Yeah.
So
In your
That's
shape
tough in
and
the
stuff
second
like that.
grade.
I hated second grade. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh.
second grade was like one of those awkward years. It's like that's when you start kind of really seeing, kind of understanding something.
Right, like,
Yeah, putting it
and I don't have
together.
nap time either.
Mhm.
Right. You kind of grow up a little bit in the second grade.
I don't like
So
that.
now I don't have nap time. I don't eat snack, and I can't write my ABC.
But
And
when
I
the
gotta do
last
this
time
and
I
that.
remember coming to school, I had a blanket and a cubby and a mat.
and for most kids, 'cause
Ooh.
I'm thinking back when I was in the second grade, I used to love going to school, but it was because of the teachers, how
Mhm.
they taught, and
Mhm.
what I look forward to doing in class that made me love being in second grade, how I was going to learn. So it's a big difference when you're sitting at home and your parent may say, well, just get the tablet and look at this and do this. And, a lot of parents were like, well, I ain't no teacher. They just need to hurry up and open these schools back up because that's their
Right.
job. They
Wow.
had that mentality. So they just weren't going to teach their kids.
But that
anyway.
mentality is why your kids be slow
Right.
and say stuff like testies.
Ooh.
Feet.
Texas. Ooh. Yeah, we're talking to somebody and we're talking to you. There are programs available to help you catch up. Honestly, I
Right.
didn't bring any of those resources because that's not what we're talking about tonight. But it did come to mind because it was a conversation that I had with the daughter of an instructor, a teacher who was having that issue. Like the classes are overcrowded because teachers have quit. It's
Hmm.
hard to find substitutes. And then the work is harder because they're having to
Catch up.
try to catch up students who cannot be caught up. So the many struggles that we're facing right now.
And then I remember, like, when COVID first happened, a lot of students went home without packets of
Yeah,
work
we
to
had to go
do.
back and get them.
Yeah.
Now, and I noticed that in certain school systems, like they made it be a choice whether or not you did this packet. It wasn't going to be graded, so you don't have to if you don't want to. Like, I remember working with a lady, and I was like, well, now that you stay home with a packet, and they grading that, they want it. And she said, well, they were staying home on one, but they didn't make it a big deal for them to do it. They just said they could if they wanted to. It's just busy work.
Mm.
Yeah, that's how my daughter was. She
But-
was like, well, we don't have to. She was like, I want to, but we're not getting graded for it. So
But mine
Mm.
got graded for it, like actual grades. They stayed on them, but she goes to a private school.
Yeah.
So that's a difference. And like I appreciated that, even though it was hard on me too. It's like, girl, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
So it made me have to up my education and look up
Mhm.
some stuff and Google and like, okay, do what now?
So we definitely had work. Like once everything got back rolling, the school system jumped in and did what they do. Like, yeah, we got a packet. They started meeting, they had Zoom, they got devices, all of that happened. So I can say that the Birmingham public school system, especially for parents who are involved,
Mhm.
got what they needed. But then there are the parents who aren't involved.
Right.
And those students are the students that aren't on point in the second and third grade. So
It's managing your business. It ties right back into the first topic we had.
right.
That's your first business. That's the first business you run when you're a parent. If you never opened another business, that's the first thing you manage.
Right.
So we're not managing our business. We don't have a structure for it. We're not providing the service correctly, and we're seeing it in our product. Our children, second grade, no ABCs. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's what it is. So
Okay, I remember Carmen being 3 or 4 years old.
But
She knew her ABCs. Nadia knew her ABCs. They knew their numbers 1 to 10. Like it's stuff that you go over with your children while you got them at home. Even when like they're in daycare. Okay, you're in pre-K closed down, but like it's simple. Like you might not be the smartest parent around, but you can go over these small base things to try to
You
keep them
can.
going through and keep their minds
should.
going.
You should be doing this.
But you're too busy on social media.
Come on.
And kids are sponges, so whatever you say, they
Yes.
pick up on it. Like my 4-year-old can say some words, and I look at her like, "Girl, where you?" Like she mentioned, like that was terrifying, and I'm like, "You 4 years old? Where you?" But she picked it up from somewhere. So if you can pick that up, if you can remember these lyrics of these songs, you can remember your ABCs. You can, but it's just, it's not teaching. Like there was a little boy on he was on YouTube. He was expressing that homework should only be done at school, and home
Oh,
is
yeah,
to
I
have
saw him.
fun and
Yeah.
chill. But
Yeah.
it was
Homework,
funny.
what we
But
talking about.
teaching has to exist in the home.
Yeah. He made a whole campaign about it.
Right.
You didn't want
Yeah.
to do homework. I get it. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Hope you have a great week. Be sure to tune in tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. and every morning at 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. for Layu's Midday Fun Shui. On next Sunday, we will be back with DMR, dating, mating, and relating.
I be
Mm.
liking them subjects.
Yeah, like we got a lot to talk about.
We do.
I don't know what's about to unfold this week, but I hope you're ready for it. And it will probably add to the conversation on next Sunday, I'm sure.
And
So-
men, you can include yourself too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you should.
You have
You
to.
definitely want to be here for that. I need you to defend yourself, okay?
Hello.
So yeah, tune in on Sunday. Also, we will be at Bazaar the Coffee Bar on
Yep.
Saturday. So pull up on us and be sure to bring your items for the Friendsgiving.
Friendsgiving.
We need
Mhm.
all of those items that we told you about on last week. You've been seeing it posted on social media. Socks, teddy bears, brushes, combs, toothbrush, toothpaste, covers.
What made your granny feel good? Bring it to us so we
Yeah.
can take it to somebody's granny. Now stop it.
Right. Knitting materials, skull
Right.
caps, things like that, so they can be warm and cozy. Books. all of that
Yeah,
good stuff.
journals.
Crossword
Bring us
puzzles.
stuff.
Oh, crossword puzzles. They do
Love
like
crossword
that.
Fun
puzzles.
Oh, awesome.
form.
Okay. And I like to buy those. Dollar Tree has an amazing selection
Selection.
of those.
They do.
Sudoku and crossword. So help us out. Bring some items so that we can be a blessing to those around us. Y'all have a great night, and we'll talk to you on next week. Be vital.
Peace.
Good night.
Ooh, child, your sinuses said hello. Bye, guys. Thanks.